Welcome to the League of Women Voters of Wake County's virtual candidate forum for the Wake County Board of Education. My name is Cheryl Tung, and I serve as president for the League of Women Voters of Wake County. The League of Women Voters of Wake County is a nonpartisan organization dedicated to empowering voters and defending democracy. We encourage informed and active participation in government, help citizens increase their understanding of major public policy issues, and work to influence policy through education and advocacy. As a nonpartisan organization, the League of Women Voters does not endorse or oppose candidates, and we are proud to continue our long history of hosting candidate forums. All candidates who filed to run for the Wake County Board of Education were invited to participate in our candidate forums. Outreach included emails, phone calls, as well as certified letters. Outreach included the phone calls as well as certified letters inviting candidates to respond and provide citizens an opportunity to learn about their views. And we want to thank you to all the candidates who are with us today. The Wake County Board of Education is the local governing body of the Wake County Public School System. It is the largest school district in North Carolina and the 14th largest in the United States. It serves a very diverse population or student body and has improved its graduation rate so that almost 91% graduate from high school. Its 9 members are currently elected from 9 separate county districts. Each member represents a district within the entire board and is elected by the residents of that district. This race is nonpartisan, meaning that candidates are not running as representatives of a political party, and their party affiliation is not listed on the ballot. The school board sets the policy for the school system, implemented by the superintendent and administrative staff. The board also adapts an annual budget proposal that includes a request for local funding from the Wake County Board of Commissioners, as well as its plan for using their allocated state and federal funds. The school board does not have taxing authority. Today, we welcome candidates for District 4, Becky Lou Hobbs and Tara Waters. District 4 is Southeast Raleigh towards Knightdale. All candidates live in District 4. Welcome, Becky and Tara. Thank you for joining us today. We will ask every candidate for the Wake County Board of Education the same questions. The questions will cover a range of issues relevant to the scope of the board. Before we begin, I would like to verify with each candidate that they have not received the questions in advance. Can you each confirm?
I have not received the questions.
Yes, I confirm.
Thank you both. You now have 2 minutes for an opening statement. Please include in your remarks why you chose to run for the school board and what makes you a good candidate for this position. And we're going to start first with Becky Lou Hobbs. You can go ahead.
I'm Becky Lou Hobbs, candidate for District 4, Wake County Board of Education. My dad retired from the military and we moved to Wake County when I was in elementary school. I graduated from Wake County schools, which gave me an excellent educational foundation. From there, I received my Bachelor's of Science from North Carolina State University, and I now have over 20 years of contract management and policy development experience, as well as experience managing multi-million-dollar construction projects. I'm a longtime resident of District 4, where my children attend school. I've been an active PTA member, PTA officer, and school volunteer. But as my kids have walked their educational journey, I've realized the quality of education provided by Wake County schools has declined. And when the governor closed schools, all my children started struggling with basic subjects. I was frustrated that the board sat in silence as my kids received limited educational assistance during remote learning. And when school finally went back in person, several times they were denied access to their education, receiving no support. The school board runs the business of education for Wake County, making policy decisions, budgetary decisions, and equipping educators in order to provide top quality, unbiased education to all the children of Wake County. but plummeting test scores shows this is not happening. Because of agenda-driven curriculum, the board's disregard for parents, and budget mismanagement, parents are seeking other options. To once again make Wake County schools one of the best public school systems in the country, we need to focus on three things: quality education, which focuses on reading, writing, history, math, and science; parental involvement, because parents are key to their child's success in education; and fiscal responsibility. We have a multi-billion-dollar budget that needs to be spent responsibly to give our kids an excellent education. I'm Becky Lou Hobbs, candidate for District 4. Thank you.
Thank you, Becky. And now we will hear from Tara Waters. Tara, you may go ahead.
Good afternoon, and thank you to the League of Women Voters of Wake County for the opportunity to share. I am Tara Waters, and I currently represent District 4 on the Wake Board of Education, and I'm looking forward to the opportunity to continue to advocate for our students. My desire to hold this seat is rooted in my own experiences. As a young child, I moved to Wake County from a rural community of about 2,500 people. That's about the size of one of our high schools. And when I came to East Millbrook Middle School, my whole future was transformed. From East Millbrook, I went to Millbrook High School and then on to NC State. As a candidate, I have multiple touch points with the district. I have been a student of the district. I have also been an employee of the district. From my senior year in high school to my senior year of college at NC State, I worked in the central office. In addition, I have a Master of Public Administration and spent a long time as adult educator at Wake Tech Community College. The Wake County Public School System is dear to me because my own children are students in the district. I have a child in preschool education at Brentwood Elementary. I also have a son in middle school at Carroll Middle School. Teachers have done so much to help me transform my own life and the life of my children. I want to advocate for our teachers and thank them for the hard work that they have done. We have educators who have poured their hearts out over the last 2 years during the pandemic, and I desire to encourage and support them. I also want to support all educators in the system. My grandmother was a longtime bus driver, and so I feel connected to every employee of the district. So if given the opportunity to continue to represent District 4, I will focus on equity and trust, relationships with our educators, and also relationships with our communities, because together we can continue to advocate for our children and give them the bright future that they deserve. And so I am Tara Waters, truly grateful for the opportunity to serve the district and hope to continue to advocate for our students, our teachers, and our staff.
Thank you, Tara. Thank you, Tara. And now we're going to move to the question part of the forum, which will be a first of 5 questions. And the first question: the teacher pipeline issue is in the news frequently. Fewer college students are choosing education as their major, and teachers are retiring or leaving the profession for better pay. Wake County is currently facing a staffing shortage and reported in August that they still need 400 more teachers. What strategies do you think would help the Wake Public School System recruit and retain teachers? And we will go to Tara Waters first.
Well, our educators pour so much of themselves into our students, and so we have to continue to affirm their worth and their value. Over the last years, we have seen a lot of devaluation of the teaching profession at the state level. There has been an end to teacher tenure, longevity pay, master's pay cuts, and just an overall failure to fund teachers as they should be paid. And so there's also not a competitive pay as we consider our teachers are subject matter experts. So my desire is to continue to advocate for our teachers, their pay, to make sure that we provide them with the respect that they are due, give opportunities for professional development, and also encourage our next generation of educators. We have a wonderful pipeline within the Wake County Public School System. There is a homegrown effort to continue to make sure that we have teachers from the Wake County Public School System. So as we continue to work with our teachers to let them know that they are valued, appreciated, and give them opportunities to be supported by all members of the district level, that will continue to help us to move into a place where we will have enough teachers to serve our students. We have to affirm that teachers have worked hard during the pandemic. We have to acknowledge that they have been under tremendous stress and pressure. This pandemic changed everyone's life, and so we need a school board who is going to support our teachers, advocate for them, and also advocate for pay. It is important to build relationships with elected officials, our county commissioners. I have relationships with our county commissioners to be able to advocate for the things that our teachers need in the classroom. And I'll build relationships with state legislators to be able to ensure that we are advocating for at every single level what our teachers need to be successful in the classroom, and all of our educators. So we must invest in our teachers, affirm their worth and their value through affirmations and support in every way that we can, and acknowledge their hard work, and give also opportunity for behavioral health supports to make sure that they are well in all areas of their life. Thank you.
Thank you, Tara. And now we'll hear from Becky. Go ahead, Becky.
Thank you so much. Our teachers are such a wonderful resource. We have almost 11,000 teachers in the Wake County public school system. And yes, we are having a staffing issue with about 400 vacancies that are still open. But remember, staffing is an issue nationwide. There are many companies that are having staffing issues, but we do need to encourage young students that are going into college to choose the teaching profession. We do need more people to receive the degrees to teach. But one of the frustrations, there are several, and it's not just pay. Teachers are frustrated. It's become apparent in the pandemic that they're being asked to do way more than just teach. Many times they're being asked to get medical information and to behave more like a parent. And that is not the job of a teacher. The parent is the parent and the teacher is the teacher. And the two must work together in order for the successful education of the child. But teachers do deserve more pay. And the average pay in Wake County is in the mid-50s. But one of the things, administrative part of education, that has skyrocketed in the number of positions. And according to Wake County, we have well over 100 positions, administrative positions, that are making well over $100,000 a year. We need to look at the effectiveness of these positions because we need to give our teachers more income. And I want to know what the deliverables are on these administrative positions so we can use those, maybe cut some of those positions to provide our teachers more pay. Because when you look at it, it was 120 positions that were making more than $100,000. And that's where we need to focus on, just the effectiveness of these positions to turn that into rewarding our teachers.
Thank you, Becky. And now we will move on to the second question. Capital expenses are paid for with local property taxes. Building new schools must be carefully considered due to the high cost of land and construction materials. Throughout Wake County, we have some schools that are under-enrolled and others that are overcrowded. What are your suggestions for how to best balance the school population and fully utilize our existing infrastructure? And this time, Becky will go first. Go ahead, Becky.
Thank you so much. Well, capital improvements and utilizing all of our schools to the highest effectiveness also involves transportation. And when I've talked to parents in my neighborhood, one of their frustrations is their students are being bused past 2 schools in order to get to another one, just to get numbers right in the different schools. And so that's an ineffective use of our schools. It's an ineffective use of our transportation. Personally speaking, my children have gone to Powell Elementary School, and that school has declined by almost a third in enrollment, and there are empty classrooms. A lot of that has to do with the enrollment formula for magnet schools. So that needs to be looked at to make sure that magnet schools are utilizing all the space available. Because, when these schools like Powell, their base students decline, so does the number of magnet students as well. So we need to make sure that those available spaces are being used, and that will help alleviate the schools that have too many students enrolled, so we can shift those classrooms. And so that needs to be looked at across the board. So between looking at how the magnet enrollment is to shift students to different schools and looking how we transport kids past several schools in order to mix up the student population, we need to look at how that is done and make that more effective.
Thank you, Becky. And now, Tara, would you like to respond?
Well, while I have been serving on the Board of Education, I've had the opportunity to visit all but one school in District 4. Each of the schools is unique and special, and it is important that we give our students environments that are conducive to learning. So as we move forward, I really recommend that we continue to showcase the importance of all of our schools. We have a lot of schools that have excellent programming that are often not well known. And so we need to do a good job in making sure that that parents know all the options that are available for their child, and to make sure that we are placing programming at the schools that are going to attract students from across the district. We have to make sure that our student population is diverse and reflective of the entire school community. So we have to continue to use data and make data-driven decisions as we place students and prepare for the next school assignment plan. I highly recommend that we can include parents in conversations on the front end so that they are aware of student assignment plans and have the opportunity to give voice to their concerns, their frustrations, their joys, their challenges. So parents need to be involved in the process, and there needs to be a transparent process as we build student assignment plans. We need to ensure that all of our students, our school communities are healthy and vibrant. And we do that by continuing to advocate for more funding on the local level for our schools. It is important that we continue to work together to build a strong school community and to make sure that all of our schools are well balanced and well attended. Every school in Wake County has a different, important and vibrant theme and feel to it. And so as we continue to expand and promote our schools, we need to make sure that everyone knows the story of every single school. Every school is special, and every school is designed to nurture and encourage and inspire. So we have to do a good job of telling the stories of all schools, so more parents will be aware of the options that exist across this amazing district.
Thank you, Tara.
Thank
And
you.
thank you, both of you candidates. We're going to now go on to our third question. School board members are elected in a district, but they govern the entire school system. In your view, what makes an effective board member, and what do you think are their key responsibilities? And this time we're going to have Tara Waters go first. Go ahead, Tara.
Well, the role of a school board member is such a special opportunity. We have approximately 160,000 very special students in this district. And as a school board member, you are an individual who is a part of a team. So it is very important to be able to build relationship with other board members as well as with district staff. So over the last several months, or the last few months that I have been in the seat, I have been working very closely to get to know all of the other school board members, and will continue to build those relationships with district employees as well. It is also important to visit the school communities and get to know the communities as well, and to be accessible, because school board members need to be reachable by their parents, the students, and so that you can give voice to the needs of individuals that you represent. So school board members need to serve, be servant leaders. You need to be accessible. You need to be able to build relationships with all of the school communities. And it is also important to continue to develop professionally, to look for opportunities to better advocate for students in the district, to look for ways to increase all of the programming in our school districts, to give voice to the needs for things like an equity plan, to be able to give voice to every student in the district, because our students in the last couple of years in the pandemic need support and advocacy. So do our educators. So you have to be able to, one, build relationships with your colleagues, to give voice to all of those that you represent, and then also be able to be a servant leader, to get out to the school communities, to get out to the neighborhoods, to attend events, so that members of the community know who you are and know that you value their students, and that you're going to give voice and advocate for everyone that you represent. And so whether you represent District 1, 2, 3, all the way up to District 9, you are an advocate for all students in the public school system, and you have to do that with grace, integrity, and with openness, fairness, and trust.
Thank you, Tara. And Becky, go ahead.
Thank you so much. Well, to be a school board member is to be a servant of the community, to be a servant leader. The school board runs the business of education in Wake County, and part of that business is to properly manage the budgets, to create policies that can be fairly and equitably managed through the entire county. Need to listen to the parents in the community. because everybody in Wake County, every resident in Wake County is involved in education, whether you are a parent or whether you are a community member, because everybody has a impact. The education in Wake County impacts everybody, because these children that are in schools now, second graders, in 10 years are going to graduate and they're going to become our leaders. So this is very impactful to what's coming through in the community. But the most important part of being a school board member is to listen to the community. The history of the current board has not been to listen to the community. It has been rather disengaged in the past. And to make sure that they're involved needs to be visiting all the schools, needs to be listening to the parents at those schools, the teachers of those schools, and to get out into the communities and in each of these communities in order to see what the needs are, because the needs at the different schools are going to be different. You know, we've got in District 4, there are 24 schools, and they're set up very, very different ways. And each of these communities are going to need a different approach. You need to be flexible and have open ears, be willing to respond, and to be able to treat everybody with fairness and integrity. Thank you.
Thank you, candidates. And now we're going to move on to our fourth question. North Carolina ranks 39th in the nation for per pupil expenditures and 38th in teacher pay. In Wake County, we depend a lot on local funds to supplement the state's budget. Do you think our current school budget is adequate for the needs of our school district? And please explain why or why not. And Becky, you may go first.
So in regards to expenditure, per pupil expenditures, currently we spend about almost $13,000 per student in Wake County. And we need to look to make sure that we're spending our funds in the most effective way. There are private schools in the area that students can enroll in for much less than that. And Wake County should be able to provide education in a similar manner. There are many things offered by Wake County. We have close to 1.2 million people in the county with 160,000 students, and offers many, many different variety of choices. But leading on into the teacher pay, I spoke a little bit about this earlier, where the average teacher pay in Wake County is in the mid-50s. We need to look at the effectiveness of the administrative positions. We have a little over 20,000 positions in the Wake County public school system, with almost 11,000 of those being teaching positions. But if you look at the last 20 years, the student population and teacher population has only risen by about 8%. But the administrative position has risen by almost 90%. So we need to look at these non-teaching positions and evaluate their effectiveness. So I truly believe that many of these positions can be combined, can be outsourced, and that money, those funds redirected to the teachers to increase teacher salaries.
Thank you, Becky. And Tara, would you like to go next, please?
Just before the school year started, I had a chance to attend several Meet the Teachers. And as I spoke to educators, I was just overwhelmed with how much of themselves that they give to our students every day. I will say that teachers are subject matter experts. And when you look at any industry in this country, when you have subject matter experts, they are paid and compensated based on their experience and their education. We are not, as a state, doing what we need to do to compensate our teachers. We need to do a better job so that we can remain competitive. There are neighboring states who are able to attract our students because they have better pay for entry-level and seasoned teachers. So we need to continue to advocate for better pay for our teachers and all of our employees. The district has done a good job of making pay more competitive, but we have work to do to continue to make sure that all of our employees in the district are compensated so that we can remain competitive, not only within the education field, but with other industries who would like to take some of our educators into those fields. Educators are the only profession that prepares every other profession. Teachers are the pipeline for all of our doctors, our lawyers. Every profession is dependent upon teachers. And so we need to, as a society, start to affirm and to pay our teachers for that. And our students are worth the investment. Our per pupil spending is not competitive or comparable to what districts of our size are doing across the nation. We need to invest in our students, particularly as we have faced significant learning loss and the impact of the pandemic. So I will continue to advocate for all of our students and our teachers as I work to give voice to the needs of what our district needs. Students are worth the investment. We have to make sure that we are preparing our students for success once they leave the Wake County Public School System. Some will go on to college, some will go straight into career. And so whatever their path forward, we need to make sure that we have a prepared and equipped to do that through adequate funding. And so I am proud of the strides that the district has made, but there is more work to be done, and I hope to be a part of that work.
Thank you, Tara. And now we're going to go on to our fifth and final question before we have closing statements. School safety and security is a complex topic with various organizations and interest groups tackling the issue from different angles, but clearly everyone is concerned about school safety. What is being done well by Wake County Public School System, and what would you suggest is needed to improve school safety? And Tara, you can go first this time.
As a mother of 2 students in the district, I am very concerned personally about school safety as well as a board member. School safety is a part and responsibility of all of our community members. We need to make sure that our students are safe when they go into those buildings. I think the district has done a good job of providing independent audits to evaluate safety risks across the district. So that needs to continue to happen, to have third-party evaluations of safety threats to our district. We also need to invest in behavioral health supports for our students to make sure that we are addressing students who may have tendencies to do things that bring risk to others in the school building. We also need to make our community members a part of that plan to make sure that community members who are aware of any credible threats to our district know how to report those so that we can keep all of our students safe. So there are lots of different ways that we can look at school safety, but we need to have a standard approach across the district. We need to ensure that we are using the same methods, that we have systems where our entry into our school system is safe, and that anyone who is coming into that school building is required to show ID and be there for a valid reason and check in and be required to meet those safety protocols. And as we continue to do that, we need to continue to offer drills for our schools to make sure that everyone is comfortable and understands the safety needs of the school. We also need to prepare for human errors. A lot of safety issues in reports across the country have shown that there have been issues of human error. So we're making sure that everybody in the school community is vigilant and committed to making sure that our students are safe. And if we all work together, continue to look for the ways that other districts across the country are working to keep their children safe, then we can do that for our own children here in the Wake County Public School System. Thank you.
Thank you, Tara. And now, Becky.
Thank you so much. There's a lot to be done with school safety. We have 198 schools from age just recently opened to have built back in the 50s and 60s. And the problem with this is you have schools of so many different designs. Some schools have a single point access. Other schools have multiple access where even there's doors from the classrooms out. So it's hard to control those multiple entry points. Compounded with that, when you have almost 1,000 trailers in the school system, there's just a lot to do. Part of the problem with school safety and response is in Wake County, we have 12 different police forces. So having a consistency of response is very difficult when you don't know who's in charge. So part of that is why having SROs in the schools are very important. And recently, Wake County Schools passed up a wonderful opportunity to apply for a grant to get some SROs in some of the elementary schools, because right now there are none in the elementary schools. In addition to that, there needs to be a look at bullying because, the violence in the schools is a progressive problem. And when bullying happens and the schools do not address it, that only will escalate in the future. I know personally, my kids have been bullied in their school career, and it was very little done in order to protect them from the children that were bullying them. And we need to be able to open up the communications in that when these situations happen, there's many times the parents are treated in a way that you can't even find out what's going on. You can't talk to the parents. There's no common ground where you can meet and discuss with what's going on with the parents of the other child or children. So we need to look at not just offering security in the schools, we need to look at how we handle as a system, how bullying is handled. Thank you.
Thank you, candidates. I want to thank the candidates for coming today to participate in our virtual candidate forum. We recognize that running and serving in elected office is a considerable commitment of time, energy, and often sacrificed opportunity. The League, along with the residents of Wake County, is grateful that so many capable fellow citizens who are willing to step forward to serve the important duties as a member of the Wake County Board of Education. Now you each will have 2 minutes to make closing statements, and we will go to Becky Lou Hobbs first.
Thank you so much. As we look to improve our school systems, the past few years in this pandemic has shown parents what is working in our schools and what is not working in our schools. We need to get back to providing our children a quality education in the school system. And that means to focus on the basics of reading, writing, history, mathematics, and science. When you look at the curriculum that we have in place, you can see over the past 10 years, a very steady decline in school and scores. And you can see when the MVP math program, there's a tremendous drop in success in our math. And we've now taken on the same program for their English. So our students right now in 3rd grade, only 1/3 are not proficient. That is not acceptable. We need to get to the point where most of our kids are proficient at 3rd grade, because children are learning to read from birth to the 3rd grade. And from there on, they use those reading skills they've developed to continue their educational career. So we need to focus back on the quality education and not the social programs that have crept into our school systems. Because when it comes to raising a child, that is at the discretion of the parents. The school is not to replace the parent. The school is to provide an education of facts and history and science. I look forward to November. I look forward to becoming a school board member and serving this community in order to make our schools the top quality, unbiased education that they can be. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Becky. And now Tara Waters, if you want to give your closing 2-minute statement, please.
District 4 is an amazing district in the Wake County Public School System. From schools like Phillips High School to Longview to Powell to Poe, Hunter, and so many others, there is so much opportunity for our students to succeed and to grow. As a current school board member, one of the great joys that I've had this year is to go to graduation and see so many students walk across that stage. Those students have worked hard and they have overcome lots of obstacles to do that. And so I want to be a part of the solution that allows our students to continue to grow and to succeed. I want to be a part of making sure that every student in the district has a sense of belonging, that they feel encouraged and inspired when they walk into the school building. I want to be a part of the solution that says to every employee of the district, you matter and what you do is important. From the employee in child and nutrition services who serves our healthy food and nutrition every day, to those who transport our schools on the school buses, to those who are in the classroom. Every employee of the district matters to me, and I want to give voice to their needs. And so this district has transformed my life. It has done so much to me. I became the first college graduate in my family because of this school district. And because of my experiences in the district, I am passionate about giving a chance for others to be able to be their best. And so as I walk alongside all of our parents, I want to be transparent. I want to make sure that I'm accessible. I have given my cell phone number and contact information to anyone who'll take it, because I want everyone to know that I'm a parent first. I am one who graduated from the school district. I'm committed to advocating and serving alongside of you. And as I continue to grow and to learn about the amazing things that go on across our district, nearly 200 schools and approximately 160,000 students, they are worth the investment, they're worth fighting for, and they're worth just the time that it takes to be a school board member and to advocate for their needs. So I thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you so much to our candidates, Becky Lou Hobbs and Tara Waters. As we end our forum, we encourage you to visit our website, vote411.org, to learn more about the candidates on your ballot and to find out the latest information on polling place hours and locations. Please make your voting plan for the upcoming election and encourage your family and friends to vote as well. Thanks again for joining us.